Hi, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Jessie.
And welcome to our show.
Nameless.
Party queens, cooler than you are me. Your ear hole seductions is the Nameless Productions. For your ear hole seductions is the Nameless Productions. For your ear hole seductions is the Nameless Productions.
And today's episode,
we have Jeff Pliskin from Raised Fist Propaganda. I did too.
Don't fight.
Don't fight.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the things that we talk about in our interview with him, is how as you get older, you kind of lose that fight with people to the point where you just kind of go, you're either going to talk to me about it or we're going to go our separate ways and nobody's going to care. Like learning and growing.
Agreed. And I think that it's really cool to look back on where you were at one point and then grow to where you are at this point. You know, from years and years, you can change so many times throughout your lifetime. A lot of people say that you can't change or people don't change, but I don't think that's true. I think that people do change and they turn into different versions of themselves, and it just depends on which direction you go with your growth.
Yeah.
Do you want to do better, or do you want to stay that person that you were when you were fighting?
Yes, and that's exactly what he did in the interview. He said when he was in his 20s.
He was fighting.
We're here live, Mission Beach, 45-degree angle to get the beautiful houses.
Yep, it's pretty fancy and nice out here today. Introduce yourself for me.
My name is Jeff Pliskin, Raised Fist. I do photography with a broken camera.
Is it broken?
The lens keeps breaking. Even when I buy a new lens, it just somehow cracks. I don't even know how that happens.
You're just hard on them?
No, I'm actually careful with my cameras. I don't know. They just end up getting cracked, like the lenses. Yeah. But they still work, because a lot of people think because the outer part of the lens is cracked, it's broken. It's really the inner part of the lens
that matters.
Yeah. So like if the outside has cracks, you can still shoot. It's just a protective covering. People don't know that.
Oh.
So
I guess I didn't know that.
A few years ago, it actually did get cracked all the way to the inside, so I had to replace it. But that was like 7-8 years ago.
I go through a lot of lenses.
Yeah, my lens is about like $600-700, so it's like not.
Oh damn.
My camera's only $100, so like I can replace the camera anytime.
But the lens is hard.
The lens, it's a standard fisheye lens, really a Nikon, so like, it's pricey.
So we're talking about lenses because if you guys know him, he is Raised Fist Propaganda. How did that start?
It started without the name. I was always an artist, so like in high school, I was in the punk scene, skateboarding, all that jazz, 15, 16. And then, my epiphany was 12th grade photography class. We needed to take an elective. And I remember myself and my friend Melissa, we took it. And like, my teacher just did like the coolest thing. He just like, he gave me the camera. It was a film camera. I'm like, what do I do with it? He's like, go. I'm like, go where? He's like, go take photos.
Let's go do it.
So we're like 17 and we're running around the school with permission to like go through the hallways. We went outside. I started jumping on top of like the school security car and like in the name of like photography. And I'm like, yo, this is cool. I like it. But I stopped taking photos after senior year and I got a video camera. I actually ended up going to film school and doing like skateboard videos and like funny little skits. And this is like back in like 2000, 2001, 20 years ago. So I was always into videos, and I had this video camera called the Sony VX1000. It was like what all the skaters used. It had like the fisheye, Century Optics fisheye on it. And we had tapes. You would have to put like the analog tape in it.
Yeah.
And so if you recorded for an hour, you would have to take it out and upload it for an hour. Not just like now you could just like put in a computer and it takes like 30 seconds and you got like 8 hours of footage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have tapes. I got tapes and tapes and tapes.
You still have them?
Of course.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have. I did everything. I filmed like old school like minor leagues for like the WWE, like all the ECW guys. I have footage of like one guy got famous, like super famous. I got all his tapes when he was in high school. He was like the purple guy. I forgot what his name was, but he had like purple, wrestling attire.
Yeah.
And he turned into this guy, Zack Ryder, for WWE. He like won like a belt or something. And he would text me like, do you remember me from 10, 15 years ago? I'm like, no. He's like, I'm the purple guy. I'm like, I want my tapes. And I'm like, holy shit, that's cool. Like like a famous wrestler's like.
And you still had them?
I still have them now. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I just haven't like uploaded it to like. I'm more into reggae. I like to like throw reggae stuff like here's a wrestling thing from like 2002, which is like shitty quality anyway. Like the quality on the cameras are like they're not HD. It's like subpar.
Yeah.
But it has like an aesthetic to it. Like the old school like Zoo York videos are like really cool. All the ones RBU Molly did, like Peep This, and like just has that gritty square look to it. But now everything's widescreen, and like I'm telling you, the generation now of camera people, they have no idea like how easy they have it. Because we had to go through the bullshit. We had to go through like
all the trial and error.
This was my first digital camera, and I've never left it. Like this is the first camera where I can like put a card. It's a Nikon D80, and my theory is if it works, why the fuck am I gonna upgrade? Like I actually tried upgrading to like the newest like Sony A7 III whatever, and it shot beautiful, but it like wasn't me.
Yeah,
like
it didn't have that same vibe in the pictures.
I put it up, and it's a beautiful photo, magazine quality, but I didn't feel complete. I'm like, yo, I had to sell it, and I had to go. It's like my girlfriend, like keep breaking up with the girlfriend, because it's like
it always goes back.
You've been together for like 15 years, and then you want something brand new, and it's like, nah.
Gotta see what else is out there.
You gotta go with what's reliable, You gotta go with what you trust.
That's
right.
Yeah.
That's what people do, man. They keep like, oh, I want the best. I want the better. No, dude. You need loyalty. If you can find trust and loyalty and friendships, relationships, people you work with, that's it, man. Like I just did my first film. I had a dude.
Was that yesterday? Were you filming yesterday?
Yesterday was a reggae festival called Maydays, the Dub Shack, not to be confused with the Sugar Shack. I'm gonna make them fight each other. Dub Shack versus Sugar Shack.
I want to arm wrestle
for the reggae title.
Yes. I want to be there when they fight. Will you invite me?
I mean, that's what it is. Like, in order to like blow up, you gotta have people talking. So it's like Dub Shack versus Sugar Shack. Like, what the hell?
It's a coast to coast, right?
Yeah. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about my first film. I shot my first film that I wrote and directed with Angelo of Fishbone in October. And I even had a dude I was friends with for 20 years, like a skateboarder kid, amazing filmmaker. And like, I'm like, yeah, I'll have you be one of the camera guys. And it was just very negative. He was like, condescending, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, dude, like, how do you go from like a dude I have beers with to like in front of the cast? Like, so I decided, without a fight, I was just like, next, like, you got to go with what adheres to you,
Yes.
like what like helps you in a positive way. You can never say, oh, they're negative, but I'm gonna change them. Like, I'm gonna make them better. Dude, people show you who they are.
And that's who they want to be at that time.
Right, and it's not even saying it's a negative thing.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they're positive for other people. But for you or myself, like, if you're not, I don't want to say, how do I say it, not helping, but if you're not making things positive and joyful, then keep it moving, man. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I've been going through that for like 2 years where I just wanted to be surrounded by better, not necessarily better people, because that doesn't, I don't want to label anyone. Yeah.
People that encourage.
Yes, people who encourage me to do better. I felt like I was stuck in the same for so long, and I didn't want to be the same.
It's tough because you don't want to leave what you know. You don't want to leave friendships, and sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I'm at the point in my life where, I've done my video thing, and I want to step it up and do the film thing. And it's like you have to have a crew you can trust and people around you. Like, we meet a lot of people at these festivals and shows, but like people show you who they are. They really do.
They do, and they do it pretty fast.
I had a singer who's so cool, like, yo, I'm like, wow, I'm a big fan of your band, you know, like, we were cool, and then just like that, boom, now it's like the poking. It's like, dude, thanks for showing me what you're about, let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Like,
we have our,
you know, we'll keep it moving.
We got our friendship, cool, we're acquaintances now, and we'll see you on the road.
It's just that, you know, people have their agendas and stuff, and it's like, I feel like the best agenda is just to be your authentic self, and a lot of people get that confused with like smiling and let me smile all the time, let me wave.
I smile all the time, but I smile even when I cry. I like smiling.
But at the same time, you know, you have to be truthful.
Yes.
You can't sugarcoat things. You know, you can't say, oh, you're in the reggae scene, like everything's fine. Like, no, you have to address certain things, and I feel like some people don't like to hear that.
There's a huge disconnect in the reggae scene. That's kind of what Dirty Sisters is about. It's like bringing the positivity into it and bringing all those different groups that are like segregated throughout it.
Negative, right?
They all kind of are against each other.
Yeah, I don't like
There's
that.
the roots reggae, and then there's the surfer reggae, and it's like, well, it's all reggae, so...
I don't even pay attention. I just know for myself, like, I have a group, right? And supposedly you're not supposed to do this, but it's my group. Like, if, like, I posted a photo of myself being sunburned. Like, I got really sunburned.
You did.
And I do it just to, like, make fun of myself, have people, like, enjoy, like, there's, like, 100 comments. But a couple of them were, like, really, really rude and really, not to me, but just in general, it was very, like, negative and, like, something I don't like to see.
Yeah.
So I deleted it. I didn't delete it out of being embarrassed, because there's a ton of shit that's, like, making fun of me. Like, oh, you look like a lobster, blah, blah, blah. But, like, when it crosses that line into negativity or hate, then it's, like, delete. Like, I'm taking that off my page.
Yeah.
Because...
I do that, too.
You know, some people use social media as a mirror. Like, I'm mad, so negative, or some people like me use it as a tool. Like, I'm using social media as a tool to exhibit my art, right?
Yes.
Who gives a fuck what you think about me? Who cares about what I do, how I talk, if I'm from New York, if I'm abrasive? Like, here's my photos. If you don't like them, don't look at them. But
they're good photos, you should look at them.
Thank you. I don't know how they're good, but they're good, you know? Like, you develop a style after like 15 years, and after a while, same thing with musicians. Like, you know, the best musicians, they just do their thing.
Yeah.
You can't really explain it sometimes. You know, practice is good, but other than that, you know, that's my little spiel. I feel like when it comes to positivity, like PMA, like a lot of people get confused with, all I gotta do is like smile at people and like hug them, but like if you're talking shit the minute you walk away, like it's not really, you know, peace and love, you know?
I think we're here to love. We're made out of light, and we're here to love.
Sure.
We all get lost sometimes, but it's nice to have people come around and remind you, like, hey, come back.
I feel like we're all on a journey, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a journey to keep learning, right? Because we start off young.
Yeah.
And we make these mistakes, you know, and you keep going through it. And if you don't learn, you go through it again and again and again in a cycle, right?
Yeah,
and
you do. You have to repeat the same lesson until you learn it.
And then once you learn it, you're on the next level.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even, dude, I'm 43. I'm still learning. Every day I'm learning. Yeah, but it's funny because you think you, like, learn everything, and then you keep learning. You're like, holy shit. Like, this really just happened? All right, how do I handle this? How do I react to this situation?
Yeah.
And one thing that what I learned from, if you rewind like 20 years in my 20s, I used to react like multiple. So if someone was acting like fuck you, I would like do the same thing back, like a New York punk scene.
Yeah.
And I used to do that, but then I realized what I learned is people get they start holding a grudge, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, what I've learned in the past 10 years is to resolve disagreements or things with, you know, either talking or just being kind. Like, there's no reason to like be aggressive. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, like,
You still stand up for yourself.
You have to stand up for yourself, man. can't be bullied. Like I've been seeing a lot of bullying. Even like teaching 18 years, you see kids get bullied, and it's like it's funny. Like when you see people calling each other names, it's like you're being a bully. Like knock it off. You know what I mean? Like knock it off. Like this whole.
Oh, so this is something. He's an English teacher. You.
Jeff.
I'd say my phone. Talking to people who are watching.
Other people.
Yeah.
I like your microphone.
Thank
this
you.
This is a really cool microphone. I'm gonna buy it.
It's a good
It's
one.
on.
It's on.
The echo's on?
Echo is off.
Okay, because we can make it echo.
Yeah.
We're here live. I'm in Cali for 2 weeks. It's a vibe. I'm trying to make my rounds with all my friends out here.
I got to steal a day. Haha.
We started in San Diego, in OB. All the homies in OB. Working my way up to LA. And then LBC, and then hopefully higher. Went to Joshua Tree for the May Days Festival by Dub Shack. That was pretty cool.
You have to check out all his pictures from all of these things too.
Pictures are cool. I took about 500 a day. It's probably like 5 or 10 classic ones. There's always like 5 photos that like, holy cow.
That stick out the most to you?
It's not even technical. It's just a feeling like, wow, like, you know?
Yes.
I just love art. Like,
that's your vibe. So you're an English teacher, but
I work a 9 to 5, and it could be really stressful, and I'm not even going to talk about that because I feel, like I said before, 2 things, respect and loyalty, right? Like, if you have a career, that's your career. So
yeah,
there's a certain respect for it, right? So, like, it's almost like a known thing. There's going to be ups and downs. You know, there's going to be, you know, situations.
Good days, bad days.
Good days and bad
All the
days.
days.
And like I think with me coming out, I used my vacation days this week. I said told my principal I'm going to Cali. And I'm just experiencing 7 days of just California. Instead of rushing like festival 3 days, all right, back on a plane. It's more like
Yeah, I was like, damn, you went across all of Southern California already. That was pretty hardcore.
been doing it for about 15 years, since like 2006, 2007. But at this point, you know, you meet so many friends where it's like, I'm in town.
There's people to see, there's places to go.
That was weird,
Yeah, it was. He just got yelled at.
Oh, okay. There's a child named Jeffrey who got yelled at. Jeffrey.
He was all, what? I don't even know you.
But I think art is like a huge thing, because like my thing is this: art takes people out of depression. Art takes people out of loneliness. And that's why I feel like I'm a megaphone when it comes to like when I see people in the reggae scene kind of like, it's like annoying. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is the scene that we're in to get away from the 9 to 5 bullshit.
Yeah.
Where it's like I work a government job.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally known that people are going to try to like one up you and be better than you and get your position, and I think I win because I really don't care about like social status, or should I say status in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Because I know I can, like, when I'm done teaching, I can go do my reggae thing, and that makes me happy. And that's really all it is.
I like that.
It works.
Yes.
You know, like, I've seen there are certain people that are sad. I'm sad. Well, you know what? Get into a hobby. Get into like something that you can do and look forward to every day.
Art is probably the best one you could do too.
Art is beautiful. Like, I never even thought I was going to be a camera person until my senior year of high school, and like
It changed all
my teacher just like, instead of sitting there like on the chalkboard like showing settings, he gave us a settings, like, this is how you do it, go. Like,
So you work your 9 to 5, you do art, and that's what makes your soul feel happy and better, right?
it really does.
So right now you do photography. You have done video.
I'm a music video director. I have over 100 videos.
You have over 100?
And when I say that, I'm not like bragging. I'm saying,
I didn't know that.
I'm saying it because I feel like people should be proud of their accomplishments. Like,
They should.
I paid my dues, and time to take it to the next level. Like, I want to be the Quentin Tarantino. Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna be. I just want to make like a cult film. I don't want to make $1 million on it. I just want to make a film with like cameos. Like, I want Redman to be like the French fry guy at McDonald's. Like, weird shit. Like, what?
Are you gonna do it?
yeah, I got Angelo from Fishbone. I got the dude Zed from Pulp Fiction. So I got my like iconic like people,
Yes.
and I like to give out a shout out to Angelo more of Fishbone. Like, this guy's larger than life. He's a singer of a band, and like, he believes in me. So it's like, I've known this dude for like over 10 years, maybe 12 years, and he's done numerous projects with me. Like, he's never said no. And I think that's a great thing when artists who don't really have to like deal with anybody, they're like, yeah, we're, because I'm an artist too. He says, I'm gonna help you out with this.
That's cool.
Obviously, he gets paid for it, but I think it's,
I mean, work is work, but to choose to work with people when
right. He didn't have to do it, and I'm very appreciative. He lets me be the director. And trust me, he lets me know if I'm being too bossy or too abrasive. Fuck you, Jeffro.
Are you too bossy?
Oh, when I direct, of course, always.
Yes.
You got to get what you want. Like, you can't tiptoe around people, man. You can't walk on eggshells. We live one life. Why the fuck are you gonna let someone else be in charge of your happiness?
Yes, I agree.
And
it saves so much time, just to be blunt.
a lot of people I noticed, they don't like blunt. They think, I don't like the way you're talking. I don't know what to tell you, man. Some people are sensitive.
It's not tough love. Tough love is still love.
Some people don't like hearing. They don't like the mirror put up to themselves.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And a lot of people get offended, but just gotta keep it moving, man. All right, cool.
This is a nice conversation because I am blunt and I offend people, so it makes me feel better. I'm all good.
I mean, that's good.
It's a good way to be. It does save time. It saves time and it allows you to just keep your energy where you want your energy to be.
Like, I was hanging out with the Dub Shack people. I know Mary Jensen, and we were talking. She's like one of the 5 people that run it. And I was telling her, I'm like, I just love the vibe that you guys have thrown these festivals in the middle of the desert. Like, it's just cool. Like, it doesn't matter what bands you book or who plays or how many people. It's the fact that, like, everyone that was there, like 99.9% of the people that were there were just like cool to hang out with, positive, no competition bullshit.
They were there for the vibe.
They were there for the vibe. And that's why I'm proudly wearing this, because it's almost like an energy, right? It's an energy and a culture. So you want to represent things that harbor that and harness that energy.
I like that. So what can we look forward to? What work do you have coming out soon that we can put out for you?
I have a couple videos that weren't released yet. This is the beauty of making music videos. Roz 1 of Long Beach Dub All Stars, I guess he got signed with Fat Mike of NoFX. So they're going to put out that video I shot like a year and a half ago.
That's cool.
And I know I've been annoying on the text messages with that. And then Sensi Trails, I shot a really cool video with them in Tunnel Vision.
That's cool.
Hopefully that comes out this summer. I'm shooting a video for this band Spray Allen with Eric from Sublime. We're going to do that at a skate park.
Ooh la la.
That should be pretty cool. Just like, there's no agenda. Just like, that stuff makes me happy. I'm like a 43-year-old kid, like, going to a skate park, doing a music video.
That's fun.
With the band with one of the guys that you grew up listening to when you were like 15. That's cool.
Favorite person ever.
I mean, I don't know if he likes me, but I like him. And that's what I'm saying. Like, who gives a fuck? Like,
yeah.
Do your best. Always do your best. Always be true to your word, right?
Yes.
And that's it. I think that way you'll live a successful, productive life with as least amount of stress as possible, right? Because then at least you know. Right? Let's say I say something to you and you get pissed. All right, I guess she doesn't like me then, right?
Well, even then, someone can get pissed and still like you. People get over it.
That's so weird. Tell me about that theory. They can get pissed and still, yeah?
Yeah, you can be mad and still like someone. You can love someone and not like them. You can have more than one feeling at one time.
My theory is like the whole authentic self. Like, be you.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, there's no script. Like, oh, I'm supposed to behave like this and, like, be you.
It's weird
As
because
yeah.
you grow up thinking that there is. I was just talking about this. Like, do you know everybody stands up to brush their teeth? Why?
Because the sink? I mean,
Like,
what are you going to sit down? Like, where are you going to spit?
I mean, yeah. What if you feel like sitting down? You can sit down to brush your
It's
teeth.
going to drip. It's going to drip on the couch.
It's not going to drip anymore if you sit down and
that's
then
why
you're
I don't sit
standing.
down. That's kind of weird.
We all do it the same way, but nobody knows why. Yeah, there's a little bit of logic, but
do you sit on the sink?
sometimes.
That would be pretty fun.
If I want to, I
Like
do.
imagine like the stuff like starts dripping. I did this activated charcoal thing once. It was,
yes.
like, this black powder and oh my god, it was crazy. I looked like a vampire. It was like dripping like.
We'll have to do that.
Supposed to turn your teeth like crystal or something.
Do they look good?
I hope so. What do you think?
All right, yeah, they do. They look pretty fancy.
I got a couple of chips in my teeth. Crazy fucking story. Like I can't even make this shit up. So I have 2 chips, little chips in my teeth. Do you see them?
Mm-hmm. They're little.
But they're on both teeth, right?
Yeah.
Listen to this shit. 2008, No Effects show. Irving Plaza, New York City. So this is before I met them. This is right when I started taking photos. I didn't really know anyone. I was just taking. So I just go as like me and a bunch of friends went to like crowd surf and like mosh pit stuff. My friend Rick Hamels, which coincidentally there's a Hamels surf shop. I took a photo of it. I'm gonna send it to him. This guy jumps up and his foot hits my tooth and chips it.
His foot?
He's like the sneaker. Like he jumps up, like we lifted him up into like the crowd surf.
Oh yeah.
And as we lifted him up, his foot like hit me in the face and chipped my tooth. No big deal. Minor chip doesn't affect anything. 6 years later, No Effects show at the Paramount in Huntington. Dude, I can't make this shit up. I get hit again by a dude crowd surfing and chips my other tooth. Both at No Effects shows.
The same way.
The same fucking way.
I have a chip in mine from Bayfest.
Right. And then when I go to the dentist, right, she's like, you gotta stop opening beer bottles with your teeth. I'm like, I don't do that. She's like, yeah, you do. I could tell by the chips on your teeth. I'm like, no. And then I told her the story.
Yeah, I got kicked in the face twice.
It's too funny, man.
Different times. Okay, well, I like all of the things we talked about, and I would like to enjoy some of the beach. So are we good to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it.
All right. Google him, look up Race Fist Propaganda.
Thank you so much
Thank you for doing this.
for not watching.
People have a past and history. I think it is better to grow or to talk it out and grow apart, or
Either grow together or grow apart.
yeah.
Even if you work with someone that you don't necessarily get along with, like you have a duty with that person and then that's it. After that, you don't have to entertain any extra
Right.
for them. And it's a beautiful thing to like reach a point in your life where you realize it and you know it.
Where you can choose where a person belongs in your life as well.
This is such a weird thing. I have told Melissa this a dozen times. You can see it in somebody's eyes when they've reached that level.
Right.
And sometimes I call it a fuck it.
It is a fuck it.
It is.
It's like, it is. And when you reach that fuck it level is when disaster starts happening and things start going wrong.
No,
Yeah.
I think opposite.
Oh, so fuck it, this is a good thing. So fuck
Yes.
it can be a bad thing too then.
Yes. Well,
It's
absolutely.
black and white, man. It can be good, bad, whatever.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Well, see, I take it as fuck it in the opposite of you reach a level of fuck it. None of that matters.
Okay, yes.
That doesn't matter. It's not going to change how I eat dinner. It's not going to change what I do on the weekends. It's
Yeah.
not going to change who's there for me in an emergency. Fuck it. It doesn't matter.
Right, okay,
And
yes.
so there's a level
I
of...
do agree with this one.
Yes. Well, I knew you would because we talk about
Yeah.
this. There's a level of fuck it that you have to be happy and to enjoy life. And, a lot of people have been reaching it. 30s and 40s is it's a good time.
Right. So there's levels of fuck it, I guess, that I've been through in my life then, because I've been through
The drinking fuck it.
I've been through the fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't care what you think. This is not your life. This is my life. Blah blah blah. I've done that, and then now I'm at the fuck it. I don't really care if you don't like what I'm doing, or if you feel like I'm weird, or if you feel like what I'm trying to accomplish isn't what you understand or what you want to accomplish in your life.
Accomplish. That's the word. It's the goal behind the fuck it.
Right.
When your fuck it has a goal.
See, I mean, you act like we haven't even talked about this today. And we haven't, really, because this is kind of going off from what we had discussed earlier, but it's perfect because it's 100% true.
Yeah.
What is going to happen after the fuck it? What is your fuck it? Like,
yes.
is it going to destroy something, or is it going to better something?
Yeah, you can choose to destroy or build.
Right.
And like how she said before, you either grow together or you grow apart. If you disagree with somebody immensely, it doesn't have to change anything in your life other than you no longer communicate with that avenue. And that's it.
Yeah.
You just close that door and go, all right, well, I'm going to find another door now because I don't need to dust or sweep over here.
And grudges are horrible because grudges will keep you sick inside, not the other person. So you will hold that grudge and it will destroy you personally inside for holding on to that as well.
Yeah.
So, and that goes kind of like with me. I've been having some like bumpy roads, and I'm like really, really mean to myself all the time, constantly like downing myself. Like, and I know that I'm probably doing the best that I ever have in my entire life, but I will still find things that I can beat myself up about. And yesterday was a pure example of that. I was having one of those rough days where just everything was just so hard. And my coworker called me out. And I thought it was really cool that he called me out because he's like, you need to stop this. Instead of saying I can't, or I'm not able to do this, or oh my gosh, my brain doesn't handle this kind of thing anymore. Focus on the 10 good attributes about yourself that you can exchange those negative words with. So we sat there and talked about this for a long time, and it really, really, not that I haven't heard similar things, but the way he came at me and the way he explained it was very eye-opening. So
it was also in the moment where he could say, why are you doing this right now?
Yeah.
You just got all of this done.
Yeah.
Why are you insulting your work and your ethic and your effort?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you giving appreciation to that part?
Yeah. And I'm bad about it, and so I'm trying really hard now to, when I do have a negative thought, and it could be any negative thought. It could be like your boss calls you and you're like, dang, my boss never calls me. What are they calling me for? Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. And then you just start thinking like, what did I do wrong? And da-da-da. And that's how I work. Like, I work like, what the fuck did I do wrong? What's going to happen now? And instead, number one, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
But number two, like, instead think, I'm a really smart person. I've been, on top of things. I know that, I'm behind on a couple things, but I know, like, inside my things are gonna be done, And so stop beating yourself up.
Well, and really,
I don't know where I went.
Well, the point of that was, when it came down to it, it was just a phone call of, oh, this is the order of the schedule.
Yeah, this is what's important today.
And that was it. And don't waste your time worrying, basically.
It's a lot of things. So if you worry about anything instead of worrying about it,
twice.
Yeah, because now you're anticipating what's going to happen, and then you have to go through what happens. So just pump yourself up, tell yourself how amazing you are. It is okay to give yourself praise. It's okay to tell yourself 10 good things in a row. And so since then, I've had to utilize that like already 5 or 6 times since yesterday. And it's working. It's working because I woke up in a better mood. I woke up, I was like, dang, my knee hurts. But I was like, but dang, I can still fucking walk. And that's the biggest thing. Change your thought pattern.
It's one of those things where people think I'm ridiculous all the time, where I say, I like to laugh.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm seeking a happy thought.
And you have to.
Fucking Peter Pan. I'm like, so a lot of the stuff that Melissa is saying is stuff that Jeff said in our interview. And it's funny because Melissa wasn't there.
Right?
He had himself talked about how you have to be proud of your accomplishments. It's nobody else's job to be proud of you.
Right.
That goes back to like a childhood thing where you need your parents to be proud of you. You're supposed to work for your goals for you.
Yeah.
And when you reach them, you be proud of yourself, and it's wonderful.
And that's one of the things that I've learned. Like I've had to learn, because I don't know why I've never been proud of myself. You know,
Because
like
it was a sin.
I don't know. Well, I mean, maybe, but like even with me, like it's never been like I've never looked at myself and been super proud. But now, like I do, I literally look at myself and I'm super proud,
You
and
should
I'm like, dang, look at all this shit that we've accomplished, that I've accomplished, that I've gone through, that I've made it through, that you've gone through, that you've made it through. It's like, it's a feeling of being proud, and it's okay to be proud of your accomplishments. Like, and I forgot that you're allowed to do that, but I also forgot that I didn't need somebody else to approve my pride for myself.
Yeah, like if it's your goal and it's what you want and
Yeah.
you do it, you're allowed to be proud of yourself.
I've always been like, didn't I do good? Didn't I do good? Like,
Right.
and it's very, and it's probably trauma or something. I don't know. I could find that out someday if I want to dig deep. But
Well, that's why I brought up like
shadow
it
work
goes
and
back
stuff.
to being a kid and like needing a gold star or something. Like
Yeah.
that's that feeling of you want somebody to tell you good job.
Yeah,
And it's okay to go, I did a good job.
yeah. Well,
Fucking yes.
I've been a pain in the ass most of my fucking life. So for people to tell me they're proud, it was very far and in between that I wasn't fucking up. All right, so
Melissa, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Jessie. I'm better now. I can just live life now.
I mean, I'm
I'm just
proud.
kidding.
We've done cool
Yeah,
shit in the
yeah,
last
but
year.
I don't feel like I need to hear it as much anymore as I used to. Like I'm learning still.
Because you
Like,
have the feeling.
yeah, like, but also there's those days, and you're allowed to have those days.
Yes.
Do not allow them to turn into more than a few days and weeks and months. But you know, though, you have to push yourself. Like yesterday, I could feel myself going back into how I felt about 3 weeks ago, and not once did I allow myself to sulk. Like I had the moments, and I was like, and it might be my my bipolar, because yesterday was up and down all day. It was manic depressive all day.
Yeah.
I literally would cry, sob, and then laugh hysterically, happy, funny. And it was the fucking weirdest thing, and it's weird, but it's also nice to be able to realize and notice what's happening and why it's happening now. So it makes sense now. It's not so, why is this happening?
Yeah, it makes sense. And also it's important to like be real and honest about it. Like everybody around you knows.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to feel ashamed of that part
Yeah.
of you. You don't have to hide that part of you.
Yeah.
And you can be at work and be going, I'm having a fucking moment, and a coworker can say, you know what, fucking come here
Yeah.
and let me get you out of this moment, because this isn't your normal state, and you're aware of it, and I'm aware of it, and
Right.
let's go work this shit out.
And that's the same with anybody. If you have something going on, it sucks to have to tell people what you're going through, but sometimes you need to.
Yeah.
So that people will understand you better.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you what, nobody's gonna understand what you're going through if you just don't say anything
they
and
don't
you're
fucking
acting a
know.
fool.
They
They're
don't
like,
know.
what is fucking wrong with this person? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you crying? Why are you laughing? What the hell?
Well, me, like, why are you laying on the floor going,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw up?
Yeah, so it's best for Jessie to go, hey, I'm going to hang out, but I might drop on your floor every once in a while if I'm in pain today, because I need like 10 minutes here and there.
It'll balance me out.
And then you know, and then you're like, when she drops on the floor, you're not like, what the fuck just happened? You're like, oh, she must be in like super bad pain. And then
She does that.
it's so, I've learned that too. Like, you have to tell people, especially the people that you love, the people that are around you most, and the people that you know care about you, let them know what you're going through so that they can help you in the moments that you need people the most, or you need
Yeah.
somebody the most to lift you up. We can't lift you up if we don't know what's going on.
One thing that I'll say, people tend to be comfortable telling me things.
Yeah.
And they'll tell, even you, that's how we first met.
Right.
And you were like, fuck, yeah, I'll tell you. One of the reasons is, like, I don't hold judgments or grudges. I'm like, well, everybody goes through some shit. People are comfortable telling me things because I am real to them.
Exactly.
I am my authentic self, and it makes other people more comfortable being their authentic self to me.
Exactly.
And
yes.
then it just makes the relationship that much easier right off the bat. We know if we vibe together, we know if we're gonna spend time together. Like, we started working together immediately.
Yeah.
Some of it was bullshit, but you kind of know. And if you're real and you're honest with who you are, where you're at, and like, oh, I'm going through something right now, or this is a lifelong struggle, or you be real, you be upfront about it, and then everybody can just deal with it accordingly, and we all flow together.
And those who don't want to deal with it, they're gonna see their way out.
They grow
And
apart.
and then you have to connect yourself with the people that are the right circle of people as well in your life, because it has to be the people who will understand and also not put you down for that. Like Jessie said, I feel like I've always been that same kind of person. Is like, people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I make friends very easily, and the people attach to me very, very much because I'm the same. I'm very authentic. I am who I say I am. I do, I am me. This is me. This is Jessie. This is us.
There's no hiding
who we
parts
are.
that you're ashamed of.
Yeah.
Which
I
makes,
used to all the time.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to
But
be
now you don't. With Dirty Sisters, Melissa's always been open. She has videos, whatever she's going through and dealing with. She's always been willing to share it and say, hey, is anybody else going through this? Do you want to, like, throw back ideas about it?
Because sometimes we don't know how to get through something, and if somebody else has already been through it,
you got any tips?
I mean, it's really nice to get a couple tips, like, hey, this helped me or that helped me, and sometimes you don't want to hear what helps somebody else. I mean, sometimes you know in your head what's going on, and you don't need to hear what other people are saying, but it's good. It's good, especially if somebody's reaching out, and me, when I do those videos, is when I'm, like, weak, or I feel weak, and I'm like, no, I'm not weak, I'm strong, and so I'm going to reach out. And so reaching out makes you strong.
Yes, it does.
Reaching out does not make you weak at all. Reaching out definitely shows that you have strength, because you know that you can't handle something on your own and you're asking for help.
Yes.
Jessie. No, I'm just kidding. Jessie's doing very well
You know
asking
what?
for help.
This is
and that's
something
why
else
I said that.
I want to talk about, because I always ask for help.
But now,
I literally do.
But now you do. Because when I first started seeing you, and when we first started doing this, like, it was a little bit harder for you to accept it. So we've all worked on ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
We've all worked on ourselves. We've all grown, learned, whatever we did. And we're like we said, we're telling you these things because we've already been through these things. Like, we're literally, like, living them, or we've been through them. And dang, I like the realizations that I continuously get every single day, now that I'm, like, paying attention to my life.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on 2 years, guys, and I have the 2-year itch. We were talking about this. It's not that I want to go party, but it's that I need something super exciting. Like, I need to jump out of a plane, or I need to, like, do something so crazy that I'm just like, because I miss that.
You should go to Vegas and go down the glass slide.
Yeah, that might be scary.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. Do it.
No, but that might be fun. But also, I want to jump out of a plane. So, I might someday. Although, last night I said I wanted to do that, and Demir goes, but you might die. And I'm like, oh, fun spoiler.
You might not.
That is the positive attitude, Jessie.
Right? Hey! We did a good job.
It's what we do, right?
Okay, so we talked to Jeff, and it was really cool how so easily he could say all of the things that sometimes we struggle very hard to say.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of lessons to get to that point. And it's nice to come across all of these people and what we're doing who have learned all these lessons and are willing to be open and to share. I don't know how to, like, get into all of this, but, like, Jeff has been in the scene for 15 years. He's been...
It's a long time.
I know, it's a super long time.
God, Jeff, you're old. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we're new.
So am I, so there.
We're new.
Yeah.
So I have an art degree, and part of an art degree is art history. You can't have an art degree without art history. And there is no history without art.
Right?
Literally.
If there's not the photographs or the statues or the monuments or the
shit they dig up,
all the
like,
stuff.
Oh, look, we found this pottery. What is pottery? Pottery is art.
Yeah.
Oh, look, we found this mural. That's art. And so because of the art, we know the history. Well, it is very weird for some people. It's not weird for Jeff, but some people don't realize that their art that they have right now is history.
Yeah.
And so he's been doing this photography and videography and music videos. He said he has over 100 music videos, and that blew my mind and her mind, because I went, whoa, and then she said the same thing. But that's history. And so he said he has cassette tapes or videotapes still that you would put in the little recorders, and that's history, the way you record it. And now he talks about how he uses his same camera, and he's going to hold on to that as long as he can. And now we have cell phones, and you can record something right here, right now, in your pocket, no matter where you are, without this big old thing. That's history.
Yeah, remember back in the day they used to put the black thing over?
Yes. So the way that art is recorded is history. And then, on the other side of it, what is captured in those photographs is the history. So what were the people wearing? What was the vibe? What was popular in that time frame?
What can you see in the background?
Yes.
All that.
Photography is so important because it's just, we're so oversaturated with it, and it's right at our fingertips, in our pockets all the time. Photography's kind of lost its respect a little bit.
Yeah.
And this was one of the reasons we had Anthony come on in the very beginning. He did all the photographs of Dirty Heads that we would drool over. Yes, and you wouldn't have those without the photographer standing there
doing all the pictures, making sure that all the moves are there, all the stuff is captured the proper way.
Yes, and it's a whole vibe.
Capturing the moment, like
Exactly.
Jeff does. He captures the moment without you realizing it until it's the moment. It's really nice.
And one of the things that Jeff does is he captures the people in the moment, like us and all of you guys.
Yeah.
And he takes 500 pictures a day wherever he is. That's 500 chances for any of you to show up in an exact moment and have it captured in the history of whatever event you're attending.
Right.
So I feel like I'm ranting because
that's okay. You're getting to the point.
Yes,
I know it. I can feel it.
Whenever it comes to art, I'm like, ooh. Oh, let's talk right now.
Stand here.
Yes. So one thing, I don't remember where it was or who it was or anything like that. I remember the comment that stood out to me, and it felt strange. So I hope nobody feels weird. There was a post after one of the events that said, hit up the photographer, and it was specifically Jeff, hit him up to have his watermark removed if you want a piece of memorabilia. And that, just with like my own art background, struck me so weird, because as a photographer, the way that you would make money is people buy it from you.
And that's when you would remove the watermark.
Yes.
And give it to them.
Yes.
It's even at schools.
It might have just been like the wording of the post that I misunderstood.
Maybe.
I don't know. It could have been me. I do that a lot. I'm confused. Let's laugh. That's accurate.
And it might have been hit him up, and then he could have said, oh yeah, it's going to be this
It'll
much.
be this, or what do you
Yeah,
want? What
so
size?
I guess that
et cetera.
then left it in his hands as to what he was going to say to somebody who hit him up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just the way that it first came across was like,
no.
if you want this to be real, he'll remove his stuff. But the way that it's real is to have the watermark and the proof of the photographer. Like, that's part of the history of it. And
then people know who took that picture when it's 100 years from now.
And it's important. Like, it matters. And if you want it taken off, you pay to have that taken off. And coming from the art background, like she did too, she used to take pictures.
Yeah.
You can't ask these things for free, because that's their means of, I have this skill and you want what I have.
And that is how they are going to make a living.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, they're not there taking 500 pictures. I mean, sometimes just because they want to. They have a business, a company name. They've got history. They've got experience. They've got years and years in the community. And
style,
it is
following.
definitely something that you want to pay for that, you know.
To just at least
a lot of
show
us steal
respect.
pictures off the internet nowadays, and we don't give the artist or the person behind the camera the credit that they deserve.
Yeah.
And so and we all do it. I mean, there's all things that we'll post or that we'll screenshot or whatever, and then you never know who did it. And so yeah, I like the idea of having even just a tad. Like, his is not even Yeah. Crazy. It's around, it's there, it's on the bottom. It's special.
Yeah, so like don't hate on the logos, you know, don't hate on the watermarks, because we have a lot of friends who are photographers and that's how they make their living.
Yeah.
And photographs mean so much to all of us. They mean so much to all of us. And you don't, if you're like, no, I can do my own. Yeah, do your own then.
Yeah.
Do your own then. Don't share anyone else's then. Like, I don't know. It just, oh, also, when we were in the garage, how she said you share the photo and it can be shared 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
I made sense of NFTs.
I was like, oh.
It kind of makes sense. So an NFT.
So if we're wrong, please
yes,
let us know. But we think Jessie's right.
please let us know.
Yeah, I don't want to tell anybody else.
Correct. Anybody else? It's all no. An NFT would be, okay, a photographer has their watermark on their photo, they put it on the internet. Anybody can share it however many times they want to, and eventually you lose it. An NFT has a code attached to it digitally, so no matter how many times it's shared, it can be traced back to the original artist.
Or the owner?
Owner.
Yeah.
Owner, artist.
Owner, artist, yeah.
Whatever the
Exactly.
word is for
Do you
that
own it? Did you? Yeah. Owned it. Boom.
Remember when I said Instagram handle? But
Sounded
yes,
good.
that's what I think NFT means.
Yeah.
And it
I
actually,
think so too then.
if that is correct, it would be a good idea for photographers to get in on that, because
And make their photos NFTs.
yeah,
That's a good idea.
but they'd have to have approval, because like there's pictures of other people and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know the rules, but anyways.
Figure it out, guys. It's a good idea.
So yeah, like if a photographer has a picture of you and you want the shit taken off, you ask them and you pay for it, because that's what photographers do.
Right. Or you
And-
just use the picture with the watermark on it.
Yeah, and be proud of it.
Yeah.
And have
I'll print that shit up and put it on my mantle
right?
with the watermark.
And be like, look, this fucking boss person took my picture.
So there. That was your rant. I think we pretty much touched base on everything that we wanted. I think the main thing is, like we've always been telling you, is don't beat yourself up. You're going to level up if you push yourself.
It's not don't beat yourself up. It's
Don't
be
beat
kind
yourself
to
up.
yourself.
Yeah, that too.
Because
But
you can't say don't. Your brain doesn't know don't.
oh, you're not allowed to say don't or
You
can't
have to say the positive.
or I'm not able to or yeah.
So it's not don't beat yourself up. It's be kind to yourself.
Be kind.
Sorry, continue.
Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And it's very hard to say these things without saying certain words. But there are certain words that if you say them, they will automatically reflect a negative.
Yes.
And so you have to refrain from the negative words. Now, I'm sure there's a list of what those negative words are. If you Google it, what are all the negative words you're supposed to not say or you're not supposed
Can't,
to
don't,
say?
won't.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look at those because you shan't. I like that one though. Can we please say shan't?
We can keep shan't.
Okay, cool. You shan't say anything negative about yourself.
Oh, okay. It sounded good. Yeah, we're keeping it.
Yeah.
Shan't.
Oh, see? It's a good one.
We shan't get rid of it.
We shan't get rid of it. You shan't talk bad about yourself.
You shall say nice things.
Nice. Be nice.
Be nice
Always
to yourself.
be nice, fucker.
Yes, be a nice fucker. Exactly. And if you want that on a shirt, American Ink Design.
Yeah, and you could go get it right now.
So be nice and check out Jeff Pliskin's work. Race Fist Propaganda. He has pins, he has shirts, he has a lot of things. And he does shows and music videos, and he just did a mini film. And he's a teacher, which he didn't want to talk about. He said, no, I'm here to talk about art. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he has a whole vibe, and if that's your vibe, go follow, and
If it's not, then don't. And
Yeah.
But the other good thing is, I wanted to say, if you have beef with anybody or you have any grudges or anything, let them go. Let them go, because I have grudges in my life. I have people that I'm like upset with, and I got to work on that because it's not hurting them.
Right?
It's hurting me.
yeah, do they even know?
Do they even know?
This was one thing
Yeah.
when, I don't know if I mentioned it, but while we were doing our interview with Jeff, he had to stop and step away, and he was like, I need to take a phone call because there's been miscommunications, and this is something that I don't like to have hanging over my head. I would rather just deal with it right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dang, I can respect that. And so I'm going to carry that lesson on. If something comes up, don't hold on to it. Don't fester
Yeah.
unless you need a minute to sort through
Right.
it. just say, oh, hey, this came up.
It's so much better, and I'm the kind of person where, like, if somebody's even the little bit upset at me, I need to, like, handle it right now, because it will eat me alive. Like, I will, like, hold on to it. Everything about it will just eat at it. I will, like, plan the way it's going to turn out in my head. I will see it happening, and it sucks. So just handle things right then. Like, if you're mad at somebody, at something or anything, or you're like, about anything, and that person means something to you,
then just say.
Like, just be like, dude, this is what's bothering me. And then it can be over. You could either, it'll be over.
And it'll be over. Because it's usually something that's not something.
Something that's small. It's usually something small that you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't have to beat myself, or not beat myself up. What is it? I don't have to, I can say beat myself up, because I don't have to do that.
Yeah, because you're not doing that.
See?
You're being kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And working through it and being okay. And so it was cool to, like, be with him, and he had, at one point he even said, I hope that I didn't come off as negative, but then the whole time he was just talking about how he just wants to be positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was like, well, no, it didn't feel negative to me at all. It felt like you have reached a point in your life where you're like, okay, I used to be this, people have this view of me, but really I just want to exist and
be this, like, and it's okay to take yourself and go, you know what, I'm not going to do this
so
anymore.
For all three of us,
I'm going to do this.
So for me, it would be, now I easily ask for help. If I need help, I'm going to fucking say.
Yeah.
For you, what's yours?
Mine is when I feel like I'm having some weird itch to say something out loud to the people around me. Because that's my biggest problem, is I never want to end up back there. And so for me to go, you know what, I'm having all these weird things, I'm having weird dreams, I'm feeling this way, let me get it out now before it ends up being something bad, you know? So that's my thing, is just when
to be
real in the moment, and to be honest with myself and to the people around me when I'm having a hard time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So these are all cool, good, nice things.
And it's all about growing and being better tomorrow than you were today to yourself.
Yeah.
So like Jessie always says, do something today for your future self. That is the same thing, is you are either going to break yourself down by being mean to yourself, or you're going to lift yourself up by being positive to yourself. And that is protecting future you.
It
right?
is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Being kind to yourself is doing future you.
Yeah, because future you is going to be like, oh, I remember when I used to be so mean and negative to myself.
You won't remember. It rewires your brain to think happy thoughts.
So,
it's literally Peter Pan, man.
Yes.
Think happy thoughts and you can fly.
And so Rashawn, my coworker, said, do it for 21 days. So and that's what I'm doing. Take 21 days, and no matter what, when you have those negative thoughts, rewire them to be something positive. 21 days, and I guarantee you, you're not going to have to try to do that anymore.
Yep, that's how long it takes to make
It's going to come natural. It's going to just naturally come. You're not going to be I'm not going to say it's going to get 100% better, but you're going to see differences. You're going to see a change in yourself, and then in 5 years, you're going to be like, dang, I don't even do that anymore.
When people wake up and they tell themselves, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, they're going to have it. Baby steps, and then like 15 years later you have a whole following, and you're making movies with fucking your idols, and going on tour with your favorite people in the music industry, and
or whatever your little heart desires and your dreams are.
Yeah. Or having an entire organization of just love and sisterhood, or getting to use your degree to draw logos at the drop of a hat whenever somebody calls you. These are all wonderful things.
Or, even just taking it one day at a time when you're trying not to do something.
Yeah.
It's
every day you succeed is a day that you succeed. Yeah, some people are still learning, and that's okay. Just, we're here for love.
Raise fist.
And Jeff's cool. Look up all his shit. Get some pins. Follow him. Join his pages.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Bye.